in this day and age, and the death of this cheap car. The cheap car doesn't exist anymore. And that is definitely something affecting sales and the way we are going to sell at the dealership. For sales consultant, it's definitely a little bit more difficult. Interest rates are still high, despite the cuts, the cut from the Feds last week. Car manufacturers are doing whatever they can with buying the rates down. But as you can see here, there are only 18 options below $30,000, but there is 33 models for sale on the market right now that are above $100,000. According to the car dealership guy, which I really like those people at the car dealership guy, they really put stuff out that is very informative. So if you're in sales, if you're in car sales, definitely you want to follow those guys up there, car dealership guy. I follow them on LinkedIn and also on X, of course. And so this is definitely something to be concerned about. Right? I mean, not too long ago, all things considered, I mean, you can still get a Nissan Sentra around 20,000, but the cheap car is not cheap anymore. 30K is not for everybody, definitely. So that's the death of the cheap car. I mean, you have the Sentra, the Corolla, the Civic that are in the 20s, right? But that's it, really. That's it. After that, you're pretty much done. You're not gonna find a little Ford or a little Chevy, at that price anymore. And then electric cars are pushing price up anyway, because the car manufacturers figure out, I can replace the cheap car by an EV that's a little bit more expensive, and people are gonna buy it, which doesn't make any sense really when you think about it. So definitely something to first be concerned about. I wouldn't say be worried about, because it's the market, it's what the car manufacturers are doing, it's the tariff and cost of doing things have increased. The steel is more expensive, the plastic is more expensive. Hi everybody joining, thank you for joining. So yeah, we're talking about 18 cars options below 30,000 on the market right now in the US, which is not much, right? And you have 33 models above 100K, which is crazy. And there are probably also a lot of models that are like right under 100K, like at the 90, 80. You look at Toyota Tundras, Toyota Sequoias, so even a car brand that Toyota that's supposed to make like affordable cars. I'm sorry, but a pickup truck at 80K. I mean, you go to a Ram dealership, it's the same thing. You have pickups that are at 70, 80, $80,000. I mean, I had a Dodge Ram in 2000, when they redesigned, they came with the new big one, 2003, 2002, 2003. And it was an SLT with a 20 inches chrome wheels, 4x4, leather interior. I mean, the thing was really nicely equipped. And it was $43K, and already at the time I was like, why is a pickup truck $43,000? And that was 20 years ago. So even if you count for inflation, it surely didn't double the price. But 75K now, you get like a 6-cylinder turbo or something like this. So it's definitely a concern. And for you guys that are in sales, that obviously changes the way you're gonna sell, right? People may have not bought a vehicle in a while, right? And they show up at your dealer and they're expecting to buy a Toyota Camry for $25,000. That's a Corolla now. And so sticker shock, right? So my recommendation is always the same. If you're in sales, hi Haley, saying hi here. Thank you for saying hi. Alex, hi, thank you for joining. my recommendation is always the same. You have to know your product, because you cannot do a proper product demonstration and touch the customer hot buttons if you don't know the product. So product knowledge is the most important thing out there, right? Because you're gonna have to convince a prospect buyer that, yeah, that Toyota Corolla is worth $25,000, whatever it is at this time on the market. And when they were expecting maybe, $20,000 or less in a $199 a month lease, right? So you cannot build value on a product, no matter if it's $100,000 vehicle or $30,000 vehicle. It doesn't matter. You cannot build value in it, and you cannot touch the hot buttons that the prospect customer is gonna have if you don't know the product. Okay, so you need to know the product in and out. When I was in sales, I knew, when I started at Audi, I knew every single Audi. I knew every single details about them. I knew I was better than the competition. I had sometimes the issue that I would have diarrhea of the mouth, and I would just say too much, right? Frank, hi, thanks for joining. And that's something very, very bad. So you need to know the product so that you can build value. You can address the customer, the prospect customer hot button, but please don't have diarrhea of the mouth. Don't overload your prospect customers with statistics and numbers and data and this. Just do a proper interview so that you know what matters to them, what matters to the spouse, what matters to the kid that's going to drive the vehicle, whatever may be the case. But without that product knowledge, you will not be able to do a proper product presentation. And so it will matter when someone is expecting $20,000 and it's not 20 anymore. Okay, and of course, when it's $100,000, someone that shopped for a $100,000 vehicle, even if it's a surprise, like suddenly, it's a Toyota Sequoia and it's $100K with the TRD Pro off-road, whatever. They need to know why they're going to spend $100K on Toyota, for example. It's just an example, right? So product knowledge is paramount, but without having diarrhea of the mouth, which when I was at Audi back in the early 2000s, I tend to have. Diarrhea of the mouth is going to prevent you from selling pretty much, right? You're going to inform the prospect customer, they'll know anything and everything they need to know, and then they'll go to the next dealer with this knowledge, and then they'll buy over there, right? Because they got tired of you going, meh, 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 meh. Okay, so product knowledge is paramount, but no diarrhea of the mouth. Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. Okay, but there is also something that it's a question I ask. So if you are, please follow me here on TikTok, follow me on X, on YouTube, on Instagram. Everything is Sales Talk with Chris. So please give me a follow, give me a subscribe on YouTube. I would love this. Thank you very much. But I just posted a question, right? And so it is kind of linked to those things, right? Because of the increase in pricing for new vehicles. How's your pipeline looking, right? If you're in sales, please tell me. I'd love to hear from you guys, but how's your pipeline? Is it dried up? Is it drying up? Are you receiving a lot of email leads? Are they how many of those leads are qualified? Really? Is the phone ringing all the time? And so the question is, if your pipeline is drying up, what do you do? What do you do to build that pipeline, right? I mean, you can go cry to your managers and say, hey, I need more leads. And why is the phone not ringing? And the dealerships and the managers, if you're a sales manager, you have the responsibility to provide that pipeline. That's really your job through advertising and on the internet and what have you, but if you don't provide the pipeline to your sales consultant, then what are they doing there? All right, so that's your job to create that pipeline, but the market is the market, right? I mean, cars are getting more expensive. The interest rates are still pretty high, so maybe not everybody, with the tariffs on top of that and all that stuff, not everybody is maybe willing to roll in at the dealership and spend some cash. So what do you do to increase your pipeline? Because at that point, instead of complaining all the time, because us salespeople, we do that really, really well, we need to take charge. You can just sit at your desk all day long waiting for someone to walk through the door when you have 5, 10, 20, 60 people on the showroom floor waiting for the exact same thing, someone to walk through the door or the phone to ring, right? And so what do? Take charge, okay? Instead of spending your time on your phone, unless you're watching one of my videos, of course, then you can spend time on your phone. But instead of playing games or staring at your CRM with blank eyes, sorry about that. What do? Take charge. So that's something we forget, I guess, to do. I met very few people in sales that would actually do that. But first and foremost, and you heard that before, first and foremost, you have a family. Everybody in your family that works as co-workers. Okay, so tap into that. Right? Mom, dad, uncle, aunts, anybody, cousins. If they have a job, they have co-workers. Those co-workers, at some point, they'll need a vehicle, okay? And so that's where you create your own pipeline, right? Go for it. Don't hesitate. Create a referral program. Don't think that one of your cousin or one of your uncle is not gonna appreciate $50 or $100 or whatever you want to put as a referral program when they send you one of their co-workers to buy a vehicle. Of course, your family first, right? Anybody in your family should buy a vehicle for you if they're in a position to buy a vehicle from you. But that's gonna go so far, right? Co-workers, right? So that's a huge pipeline, and most of the time, salespeople just completely not aware. So that's where you're gonna create a big pipeline. Now, we all go to groceries, right? I mean, unless you're lazy like me and you just have them delivered. But a lot of people go still to the grocery, okay? You see how many cars are parked on the grocery parking lot, a grocery store, like a Ralph or Kroger here in Texas? A ton, okay? So what was I doing when I was in sales that was different? Well, I had myself business card made, okay? And on the front, they look like my normal Audi brand specialist business cards. But on the back, it will say something, hey, have you thought about a new vehicle? Or I'm looking at your BMW X5. I know my used car manager would love to have a BMW X5 right now in inventory. Those kind of things I could have them pre-printed, I could have them write by hand, which is even better, right? And then I would walk the Kroger, Albertson, whatever, Ralph's parking lot, and anything that was, because I don't want to bring 10, 15 years old cars at the dealer, right? I want something that we can resell. So anything 5 years and newer, guess what? At the door, by the door handle, in the window, at the window sill, business count, okay? And guess what? It works. It's amazing because you're gonna hit that customer, that prospect customer, that is a prospect customer, but they didn't really know they were a prospect customer until you planted that little seed in their mind and they went like, yeah, I was thinking about getting a new SUV. Who's that guy? Oh, okay, Audi. Well, that's okay, cool. You know what? I'll go because I have an Audi, or I have a Benz, or I have a Beamer, or a Lexus. And so I am in the luxury market right now. Okay, of course you can do that if you work at Toyota, Nissan, whatever. But if your pipeline is dry, don't sit at your desk staring at a blank screen on your computer. Do yourself a favor and become proactive. Okay, this is your being in sales. This is your business. This is how you make money. So you can choose to hope for someone to walk in and unload 100K on your desk, right? Or you can choose to go after them. So you should never, if you're in sales, you should never have a dry pipeline. That's a fact. That's a fact. And yeah, you can go to your managers and say, hey, I need more leads, please, 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 I need more leads, blah, 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 right? And maybe those leads exist, maybe those leads don't exist, or you can complain that the guy at the other desk next to you is getting more leads than you. That's life at the dealership. But ultimately, at the end, you are in charge of your pipeline, okay? So don't wait for people to walk through the door and write you a check. Go get them. Go get them. So for the ones that are joining now, family. Every member of your family that has a job has co-workers. How do we reach out to those co-workers? All right. Hi, Tony. Thanks for joining. How do we reach out to those co-workers, right? Have your family members be your prospecting agents at work, right? That can be putting business cards on the board. If there's like a community board in the break room or something like this, they're gonna put your business cards. Hey, buy a car from my cousin, right? Buy a car from my uncle, whatever, okay? That's huge. I mean, someone that work in a big company, a big factory, a big office business, something that's maybe hundreds of people that can be touched. Just like this, by just asking a member of your family to put business cards, your business cards on the community board, or just to talk to their colleagues, their co-workers, okay? And create a referral program. $50, $100. Don't you think you have a cousin or an uncle or aunt that would like to get an extra $50 or $100 every time they have a coworker that comes to you and buy a car from you? Of course. Family or not family, money is money. Okay, so you can create huge pipeline like this. Okay, and you are a dealer in Arizona. Won't say the name. Actually, the dealership itself, through friends and families and people, then you will create an event, say at a big company like IBM, right? Okay, there's an IBM factory in your market, in your preferred market area. Go see HR, right? You and the manager, you go talk to HR. Say, hey, this is what we want to do. We have those vehicles, and we think that it'd be a great event if we can do like a little day. We'll have a tent, we'll have refreshments, and we'll have drinks and snacks and a few vehicles. And if they want to test drive them, they can test drive them. Kind of like a automotive discovery day, and you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed how well it works, right? And so. Here is another way for dealerships. Go in your community that are, go in your market. See how many business have 100+ employees, and say, hey, why don't we go contact HR and say, hey, can we have an event? We'll bring food and drinks and whatever, and your employees can discover our product, and then we'll have a special discount for them, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's so easy to do, and so few dealers do it. Okay, so that's also an idea to grow your pipeline. And then finally, like I was saying earlier, for people that are joining now, I'm repeating it. business cards, they're great. But if they're in your desk doing nothing, or you give them to people and you give them numbers and they go away and they go buy at the next dealer, business cards are useless, right? But you can do your own prospecting. How? That's what I was doing when I worked at Audi. I had my business cards, and on the back I will write it down, or I will spend $25 and get 100 business cards made with something printed in the back. And then every time I go to the grocery store, there's that huge parking lot, right? And every car 5 years and newer will get a business card by the door handle on the driver's side at the window sill, so that it's not on the windshield, under the wipers, because they'll toss that. They won't even look at it. But if it's right here, they can just pick it up as they open the door. And in the back of the business card, they say, hey, have you thought about trading your car in? Have you thought about selling your car? My used car manager would love to have a 2022 Q7, whatever you want to write down in the back of your business card, but you do your own prospecting. And those parking lots have hundreds of cars. The mall, the Ralph, the Walmart, I mean, you name it. Thousands of cars, okay? So this is a great way also to create your own prospecting, okay? So, and then for the people that are joining now, and thanks for joining, please give me a follow. I was also talking about this. There is on the market in the US right now only 18 models under $30,000, like a Sentra in the 20,000, the Corolla, the Civic are in the 20,000, but that's not a lot compared to 33 models that have an MSRP of 100K or above on the market right now. There are more 100K cars than there's 30K cars. So that affects the way you're going to sell, right? And how do you sell? How do you convince someone to spend 100K on something they thought should be 70K, right? And how do you convince someone to spend 30K when they thought that product should be 20K? Product knowledge. That's all it comes down to. It's product knowledge, product knowledge, product knowledge, without the area of the mouth, which I had when I sold Audi at the beginning. I knew everything about Audi there was to know, and I would just buy and forget to ask for the sale. But I don't know. Okay, so why do you need product knowledge? Because you need to convince those people that there is value in that 100K or that 30K. Right? And you cannot convince someone of value. You can't convince them if you don't know the product. You can build value. It's simple as that. Okay? So product knowledge is paramount in this day and age, because if you can't build value, if you cannot address the hot buttons from the prospect customer, then you're in a whole lot of trouble. And that's called being a sales consultant. That's what is a sales consultant, okay? If not, then you're an order taker, you're lucky, or you have a closer that come and close your deal. To each their own. I'm not judging, okay? But if you have product knowledge and you know how to address the prospect customer hot buttons and create value so that they are convinced that actually they should be 120K and they're lucky that they're just paying 100K for it, then you made a sale. Because at the end of the day, that's no matter what's the price tag, they should feel lucky that it's only that, because there is so much value and it's addressing the hot button so well that they're surprised that it's not 35K or it's not 150K. Okay, so little trick that I'm giving you right now. Okay, and funny thing is I encountered that actually, where when you present the number, when I would present the number, the prospect gets a little sick. Oh, I thought there was going to be more than that. Deal, sign here, done deal. Hard to believe, but it's possible. Why? Because I've done it many times. Okay, that's how you know you really built value in the product above anything else. Okay. All right, so that was today. Two things, two subjects, but two subjects that are quite important. Building your pipeline, do it yourself. Don't just sit at your desk staring at the blank screen, waiting for someone to walk through the door or for the phone to ring, and that you're fast enough to actually pick up the phone compared to the 20 other sales consultants that are on the floor with you at that time, okay? Or 5 or whatever, doesn't matter, okay? And then because of the current market, product knowledge is paramount, and that's what will make you sell a vehicle, a new vehicle. Of course, product knowledge does not equate to diarrhea of the mouth. All right, cool. Thank you all for joining. Please give me a follow on here, give me a subscribe on YouTube, Sales Talk with Chris everywhere, and I will be back tomorrow. In the meantime, happy selling.